Hey, Ken Colbert here.
Cheryl Smith here, and we are Republicans in bad standing. And this evening we're going to talk to you about some serious matters, and it has to do with our election.
That's right.
And so I want to start it out by telling you that back in several cycles ago, we had the convention, the Republican convention in Evansville. This coming year, they're going to be on the opposite end of the country, of Indiana, in Fort Wayne, and that's the opposite end. So, but anyway, I worked at the convention, like at the door, letting people in, checking the badges, and you know they can't carry certain things in and all that. So we were there working, and when everyone got in place, we were able to go up to the top and kind of listen to what was going on. And I heard it was getting kind of loud. And anyway, long story short, Dan Elliott, who is our treasurer now for the state of Indiana, was using Robert's Rules of Order to stop the convention and make sure that they had in place that marriage is between a man and a woman on our party platform. You wouldn't think that we'd have to go to that kind of a length to get that done, but that's what he did, and all along they've always used Robert's Rules of Order. So otherwise they were going to put in marriage between same sex was okay. And he stood up, thank goodness, for Dan Elliott. So he is now sitting as our treasurer of the state of Indiana. So, and Ken and I were a delegate when that happened, and he won by 3 votes. So
that's correct. That's in 2022.
In 2022. So they are trying, when I say they, I'm talking about the establishment, the rhinos. Rhinos, you know, stands for Republicans in name only. And that is like those guys that stopped the redistricting.
The 21 Republicans that said no to redistricting. It's the same people.
They're the rhinos. The establishment are people like Mitch McConnell, who goes against everything that the president wants. So we have both of those characters within the Republican Party. So what's coming up now is our next convention in June
2026. And
so we start looking to see in each of the townships how many votes will each township get per their population. And it's astounding what they've done this time. And so we're going to go over those numbers.
We are. And
let's talk about what each one of them had the last time and how many votes they're giving the counties, each particular township this time.
Exactly.
Let's do that.
All right. Let's start a little bit of a bigger picture, though, because right now, as you know, we have 92 counties in Indiana.
Right.
Okay. During the last 2024 convention, there were a total of 1,814 delegates that were available to be able to determine what the platform is going to be for the Republican Party, what kind of paths to go forward with the organization. So each one of these counties then are broken down with a calculation based upon the voters that are in that, the number of people registered to vote, the people that are actively voting. So each county gets an allocation about how many of these 1,814 would be distributed. And there's different ways to determine who would be eligible. So I think we can hone in, we'll talk about VANDERBURGH, which is where we're from, but let's also talk about Posey and Warwick counties, okay? So Posey County, they are allocated based on population, a total of 11 delegates out of that total 1,814. Posey County allows it to be at large, which means they don't determine by boundaries about who could run. And what's happening in Posey County, typically, it's everybody in Mount Vernon. So the people in the northern part of the county, Poseyville, Griffin, etc., they are not obtaining the proper representation.
They're not on there.
Exactly.
Right now, everybody that has signed up, except for one, is an elected official.
Right, which we're going to talk about that issue as well. But in Warwick County, they do what's called a combination. They have a total of 23 delegates. And so they have 8 of those people that are at large. It could be anywhere. They could all live in the same neighborhood, okay? And then they have 15 set up by the different districts within their county. So a total of 23. Let's get to VANDERBURGH, though. Okay. So VANDERBURGH has a total, based upon that calculation, we obtain or have 46 delegates that would be eligible to represent VANDERBURGH County.
And they're divided up over all these different townships.
That's correct. There's actually 6 districts is what it is. And some of the townships they've grouped together, based upon the calculation. But in 2024, let's talk about that as a benchmark, okay?
Right.
Of these 46 delegates that are eligible based upon the criteria, this is how it was broken down.
And I'm going to add this. This is what they aren't just doing this in VANDERBURGH County.
Oh no, this is everywhere.
It's going to be all over the state of Indiana.
They're manipulating the numbers, okay? And we've been able to identify this, and this is something that the Republican County Chairman, Khyle Moers, would have that responsibility to determine how these votes are going to be distributed within VANDERBURGH County.
And it would happen the same way in your county and your districts.
Right. The county chairs determine their distribution about how they're going to do this.
And their 8th district, 9th district, 1st district heads are probably there with them, guiding them too.
Oh, I'm sure. That's speculation, but I think you're right. Okay?
Yes, okay.
But out of these 6 districts, we're going to use a benchmark again from 2024. In Center Township, which is one of the more highly populated areas of the county, next to Knight. But Center Township in 2024, the county chairman allowed for 10 delegates to actually go to the convention. Now, more than that, I think we had 24 people.
24 ran, and there's a population in that area that voted that was 20,535. That's how many voted.
Correct. There's more higher population than that.
But that's how many voted.
Voted. So at that time, 10 of the candidates out of the 24 were selected. I was one of them. I won my race up in Center Township. Okay. This year, though, in Center Township for 2026, they have determined that they're only going to allow 5 people out of this high density population area to represent the Republican Party.
And out of that 5, they are hoping that they have all the elected officials that are already elected in other positions. And I mean, they can be anywhere from the state senator to the state representative to in your local county, like they said in the courthouse where you live and work and go in all the time. They want to maneuver it to where it's elected officials only.
Okay, well, let's talk about that before we talk about some of the other districts. Okay. So what we're finding consistently, and wrong or right, the system allows this to happen, but these positions as delegates should be reserved, in my opinion, to the grassroots people. We, the private citizen, would have the ability to determine which elected officials get the honor of appearing on the ballot. But what's happening consistently, and this is happening all over the state, is these elected officials, whether or not it's a county commissioner, county council, whomever, okay, elected official, is putting their name on the ballot to take that position that should be reserved for the private citizen. And so when the voters go to the booth, they vote for Mike Duckworth or these names in our community that have been career politicians. Vanetta Becker, as a state rep or senator, she puts her name down all the time to run for these positions as well.
It's silencing us.
Right, because in that scenario, as the public is voting, they see the name that they're familiar with, which you should not be doing.
Right.
You should be voting on that strange or odd name that you're not familiar with, because that is a private citizen that wants to go to the state, to the convention, and determine who we, the people, would allow to appear on the ballot.
So we have to stay united on this. I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's the grassroots position, and we have to stay united on this. We have to stay in one accord.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a strategy, in regards to
it is a strategy.
No, I know it is.
Yeah.
And it's the way it should be, because elected officials should not be determining the elected officials.
So in your township, they took 10 people away. I mean, 5 people away.
Correct.
And it was 10, and now you can only get 5. And last time you had 24 running for it.
Right, and there will be at least that many in Central because of the population base.
Okay.
It's quite large.
But
they're only going to choose 5.
Okay, let's go on to German.
Let's do it. Let's do that. So in German, we have German and Armstrong that have been combined together.
Mm-hmm.
They had a total of 3,840 voters. They cast a vote. They had 6 people that they were allowing in 2024. However, what do they have for 2026?
11.
11.
11.
So an area that is not highly populated.
Yeah, remember that number, 3,800 that's voted there.
Exactly.
And they've got 11, and we just left your area that had 20,500 that voted, and you're down to 5.
Right.
Okay,
now,
let's
I'm going to mention this now because you can already see the disparity between going from a 6 to adding more 11 in a less populated area.
Okay, that's right.
Okay, and there's a reason why that's being done, because if there's not at least 5 or 6 people running, the vacancy then can be appointed by the county chairman. So it could be anybody that's a registered voter within, in our situation, in Vanderburgh, that they could slide in there, which typically the county chairman will appoint an elected official, which is exactly what we do not want.
So they can get to the convention and control it. Okay, so let's go to Knight.
Okay, this is the highly populated area within the city limits. It's Knight Township. They had a total of 23,615 registered voters that voted during the 2024 convention.
And 27 ran for that office.
They did, and they had 10 available slots. So some people didn't make it, others did.
Right.
But now, Cheryl, what are they showing in 2026?
5.
Right, so they've gone from 10 in a highly populated area to only
5.
Right.
So only 5 of you get to represent one of the biggest populated.
And so in this particular area, too, when you look at the data, this is where the concentration of a lot of the existing elected officials are residing. So again, when the private citizen goes to the booth, they'll see certain names on there that are already elected officials that they'll vote for them, not realizing they should be voting for Joe Blow rather than the elected official.
And I encourage you, everybody that's listening, to talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family, and tell them not to do that. Look for the people who are the grassroots people,
right,
not the one that's already in charge of everything that you do.
Well,
okay.
Part of it, too, is the not-for-profit that we're involved in, too, is going to provide a list of endorsements of people in the community that would be worthy of representing the people.
Right.
Okay.
America First is what we're about.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Perry and Union. Again, these are two of the townships that have been combined. They had a total of 6,779 votes. So in 2024, they had 5 people out of the ballot. 20 of them ran.
20 ran.
And what do we have now?
5 again.
So it's 5 and 5.
But I told you to remember the vote count in German, which was 3,800.
About half.
And now you go down to Perry, and that's my district, and you have 67, almost 6,800, and they get 5, but German gets 11. Okay, that makes sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Okay, let's talk about the inner city. The next one we're going to talk about is Pigeon Township. They had a total of 2,522 voted. And in 2024, it's 5. In 2026, it is 5. Now, they had 9 people. It's hard finding Republicans within that district. It's all Democrats.
It is.
Okay?
It is.
We know that just looking at the data.
Right.
With that.
Right.
All right. So it's 5 and 5.
Right.
But let's talk about the mystery one. We have one remaining township, and it's Scott. And Cheryl, I understand that the data that we have pulled off of the Secretary of State's website, it does not have any of the data with Scott Township.
Yeah.
Other than the fact we know that the number of votes that happened on the PC side, there were only 218 votes.
So the last time, the PC was running at the same time as the delegate.
Correct.
And so they only had, like you said, 200.
That's all that voted. And Scott Township is growing, but it is a smaller population base. And in 2024, they allowed 10 individuals to be considered for delegates. 2026,
they got 15.
Right, and again, a really small population area. In fact, we could not even on the state website, we could not even see the names of the people that allegedly had run up in Scott Township.
I know.
So again, those numbers are being distorted because they're allowing a higher percentage or higher number of people to be considered in Scott Township, when in fact they should not be doing it. Those allocations should be up there in Center and in Knight, where the population base is located. It still comes up to 46 delegates, but the math is being distributed. Now, what's going to happen in Scott Township, if people that are registered Republicans do not run, then that would give our county chairman the possibility, he will do this, to appoint the total aggregate of 15 people in Scott Township. And again, they're going to appoint elected officials.
So they can control the narrative of the outcome of the convention. The convention is going to be, I think there's one race right now that I can think of, and that's the Secretary of State. But there's more to the convention besides that, and it's the party platforms, which we talked about, and the party rules. And they're going to try to slip in some things to change where we feel like, anyway, they're going to slip in some things. They're going to try to change the fact that maybe they don't need delegates anymore. They're just going to have a big old committee that'll pick out.
Well, that actually came out, Cheryl. You know that Joseph Bortcup, I'm going to use his name,
Yeah.
He filed suit against the Republican Party, and rightfully so, because they were violating their own rules. And in part of the discovery, it was determined that they're looking at having only 18 delegates in the entire state out of the 1,814 that would make the determination for the Republican Party.
And they would be appointed by the Republican Party.
Correct.
Yeah.
Appointment again. And the logic was there's 9 districts, congressional districts in the state of Indiana, and having 2 from each area. This is not representation. They're doing the same thing in VANDERBURGH County by crunching the numbers and appointing people that are not being elected. They're appointing our elected officials to determine who the elected officials will be.
It's vital that we stand together on this one. It's vital. I mean, if you're America first, we got to stand united, because they're taking our party away from it to what it originally was designed to be.
It's been hijacked. We talked about before. It's just like the Democrats. They do the same thing. This is how the system is set up. It's a 2-party system. They're private entities.
Right. So it's very simple to apply to run.
Let's talk about that then.
Okay. So it's a CAN
37.
That's CAN-37. Look it up in the Secretary of State's website. You can print it out. There's a little bit on the back side, so it's a 1 page. So it's
signature page, I think, is on the back, isn't it?
And notary.
Right.
So all you got to do is fill that out, take it to your clerk's office. Don't sign the back of it until you get into the clerk's office. Then sign it in their presence, and they will notarize it. Or if you know a notary in your area, take it to them. Don't sign it till you get in front of the notary, and they will notarize it, and you take it in and file it with the clerk's office.
But it's important to also state you do not have to have the permission of your county chair.
No.
It's unrelated. You literally have the ability under the Indiana Constitution, the law, election law, to go in and file that form to be considered to be put on the ballot. Now, there's things they do behind the scenes to manipulate, keep people out, things of that nature, which, in my opinion, sometimes it is unconstitutional.
Right.
How they disenfranchise people. Okay, but you don't need the permission of your county chair to even apply.
No, we belong to the Indiana Freedom Caucus.
We do.
And this is what we try to, we're teaching them, you know, that you don't have to have their permission. We still have our rights to vote now. They haven't taken that way, but they're trying. They load it up with their delegates that they want, but we're asking you to stand your ground. We're asking you to get out and apply to run for state delegate.
Absolutely. And the important one right now, based on what we're discovering, is Scott Township. This is located up in the northeast portion of VANDERBURGH County. Again, they're shifting and allowing up to 15 people, but the population base is not there. It's concentrated down in this area. So anybody from Scott Township, we would suggest, request that you fill out this CAN 37 so that you can truly represent the people within your portion of the county.
So the IFC, the Indiana Freedom Caucus, okay, is to preserve your speech, which
it's under attack.
It's under attack. Your vote, it's under attack. And we want you to run for an office. It's a small thing. It's a one-time thing.
You're in and out. It's just a weekend, literally.
It's a weekend.
And after that, you're done for the next 2 years.
And this one's in Fort Wayne, so it's an inconvenience for Southern Indiana. But guess what? We're going.
We are.
Because we have volunteered to get a van like we did the last time, and we'll take as many as we can put in the van so they can cast their vote, because not everybody can drive up there by themselves. So we get that. So if you can do that in your area and help people that's running for the delegate position, and if you're lucky and you got elected, because as you can see, the odds are against us when they put 15, or where there should be 15, they let 5 people be the delegate because they're trying to control the narrative. We can't let that happen, because we're still free right now, right? As far as I know, and we should be able to do this without having to fight our way through this. They're manipulating it, and it's really kind of disgusting, really. So let's get united. Let's do this together. Tell us if you've run for an office. If you did sign up, we'd love to know that. We have people that's already let us know that's in the other part of Indiana.
We do.
We're so thankful for that, because this is our freedom. And if you don't take advantage of it now, they're going to take it away from us. They did it in the redistricting, and they're going to continue to try to do it because they don't listen to us. We hire them, we can fire them. So just remember, we're their boss. So let's get this done.
Right. I just want to communicate to one final thing. Please resist from voting for your elected official as a state delegate. Avoid that. Vote for the strange name that you're not familiar with necessarily, because we have to make sure that we take control of what's going on within our own Republican Party.
I've already looked on the list, and I've seen a lot of elected officials. I mean, even the person that was in charge of stopping the redistricting, he is running for delegate. Okay, so let's get this done, and thank you for your attention to this matter.